You champion a lost cause. That must feel so hopeless.
The resistance supporter. You're gonna need a new cause. Copy. Understood.
It appears you've misplaced your loyalty. Find it. You may go before I change my mind. Move now.
Understood.
Hi guys, I'm Lynn.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we are Create Capture Life.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that ever.
You could get it, you just don't try.
Yeah.
We are at Disneyland today, so we are taking a break from minimalizing. Here's Jonathan. And we are here with our family and we're going to enjoy the park, so come along with us. I'm right behind the Millennium Falcon and or in front of, and here is the loading ramp for the crew. This is the line over here, and I'm not riding it because I can't ride rides like this without wanting to puke. So Jonathan, Ashlyn, Brian, and Jake are on the ride, and I am just hanging, waiting for them.
So we are walking down Main Street, USA here in Disneyland Park. And
hoping not to get copyrighted by the music.
Yeah, so
on our way to Haunted Mansion.
On our way to Haunted Mansion. Now, mind you, a little bit of fall decoration here, a little Halloween decoration here, but nothing like it was over in California Adventure.
Right.
So we will join you guys again over at the Haunted Mansion. So obviously we had a pretty good time at Disneyland. You know, it's so funny because even after years and years of working there, we can still go and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and especially when you get a chance to spend time with family. Obviously, you know, Ashlyn and Ryan were there. We got a chance to spend some time with them, yeah. Meet some new friends and stuff like that. So it was a good. It was definitely a good day.
And we were only there for what?
Just a few hours.
Like maybe 7 hours or so, which is not long for a day at Disneyland. No, because we didn't even get there till the afternoon, and but we really had a good time, and it's always fun to get my kids together because with my kids being adults now, it's hard to get everyone to have a day off on the same day. We planned this day about 3 weeks ago just so that my daughter could get a day off from work, and so yeah, it worked out and it was a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll go back at Christmas. Last year we just couldn't work out going back at Christmas, so hopefully we can do it again at Christmas, but we'll see.
Yeah. So one of the things we want to talk about is, you know, everybody has tons and tons and tons of family photos, and if you're a family like ours, my dad growing up was a photographer, and Lynn has always loved taking pictures, and so we have a ton of you know, actual physical prints, because up until just a few years ago, digital wasn't a thing. So one of the topics we wanted to talk about, even though we didn't do much minimalization this week, one of the things we want to talk about is, what do you do with those pictures? And I know we kind of teased it a couple weeks ago, but now we're actually going to take some time and talk about it.
So I've been, like Jonathan said, I started taking photos with my first camera my parents gave me when I was in elementary school. I took a lot of pictures of clouds, things like that. I took a lot of pictures of flowers and made my friends pose for weird, like hold this flower, and I would take their picture and that kind of thing. And I actually still have all of those photos, the actual photos. And we're going to explain why we will not throw out our family photos in place of digitalizing them. So many people say you should just digitalize your pictures, throw away the prints, you don't need them. We're going to give you a lot of reasons why that's not necessarily a good idea. And then we're also going to talk about ways that you can display your family photos and keep them safe and things like that. So first I'm going to show you, this picture is from 1941. You can see how it's shining in the light because they used to do these, this is on a paper, and they used to put metallic in the ink. That's how they did photos back then. But this picture is my mom in 1941, and it's in perfect condition. A little bit of like, little corner edge thing, but the picture is still in perfect condition because I've always taken care of, she took care of them, and then when she passed away, I got all of the pictures and I have taken care of them. So that's just one. People would say digitalize this and then get rid of it. But the problem, Jonathan's going to go into the technical reasons why that's not a good idea, but if you can see, this is an amazing photo. I'm not going to get rid of this photo. Also, back in the day when you used to take photos and get them developed, this is before my time, this is one of my parents' photos, and it says they used to you would get little prints like this, and they had little edges, and it would tell you the date right here. So this is October of 1955. This is actually a picture of a milk truck. My dad worked in the dairy industry for years before I was born. So these are cool pictures to keep because if your parents grandparents, parents didn't write dates on your photos, they're right here. So I know when this picture was, and I know where it was. It was in Illinois because that's where my family's from. So I'm not going to get rid of this. So technologically, you can digitalize, you can scan all of your photos, you can take photos of photos, and you can digitalize them and put them in the cloud. You can save them to hard drives, you can do all of those things.
But the real concern with all that is I don't think that should be your primary source of archiving. Because here's the reality. Skip back, like, let's say 15 years. If you wanted to store your pictures, you put them all on a floppy drive. Good luck finding a computer right now that has a floppy drive. CDs and DVDs. Okay, might have a little bit better chance of finding a CD or DVD.
For a little while.
For a little while, but let's be honest. If you own any computer made within the last 2 years, I know if you own a Mac, good luck with finding a CD drive or a DVD drive. A lot of people are switching to like Microsoft Surfaces and stuff like that. Those, again, don't have a CD or DVD drive. Yeah, sure, I know some doesn't say, oh, just go buy an external. Absolutely, and that's always an option. You could probably even find an external drive. Shoot, I probably have a external zip drive somewhere, if you remember what that is. But the reality is, a lot of these formats change. So what do you save to? Do you save to like a USB drive? Do you put it on a hard drive? Well, let me tell you from personal experience, we've lost hard drives. Entire 2
terabyte. It was a 2 terabyte.
Yeah, it was a 2 terabyte hard drive. We lost it, just corrupted, and
the backup, don't say, oh, you should have backed it up. It was a 2 terabyte hard drive with a backup drive.
Yeah, it was
both failed.
For the computer guys out there, I had a RAID 0, and it was striping to both drives, and I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if it was a power failure or something like that, but both drives just done, game over.
So 2 terabytes worth of personal photos, professional photos that I had done for clients, all those kinds of things, gone. Yeah. And the minimum to have a data recovery service try to recover was over $2,000,
Yeah.
and there was no guarantee they could get to the photos.
Yeah,
it was just, well, give us $2,000 and we will try.
I gave one of the drives to a friend of mine he's an IT guy, and he looked at it and he said, ooh, without actually getting deep into the hard drive, there was probably little chance of getting the data out. He tried, but he said there was just a lot of corruption on the drive, and he thinks there might have actually been physical damage to the drive. So that's the only thing I can think of is maybe it was like some sort of a power issue or something like that. So again,
but like we said, it was backed up,
Yeah.
and the backup failed too. So
Now
we
everybody's-
lost everything.
everybody says, oh, back up to the cloud. Well, we just found out, Lynn actually just told me the story. Was it Walmart?
It was Walmart,
Yeah.
and it happened to somebody I know.
Walmart actually had their whole cloud server. Apparently they switched servers or something like that, and it dumped their entire cloud service.
Well, what happened is they had a cloud service for Walmart. So if you were a Walmart customer and you were getting prints made from Walmart, they also gave you the option to save your images to their cloud system. So I have a friend who did that. All of her pictures she has 4 kids, all of her pictures from all of her kids being born, her wedding pictures, everything was in that cloud server for Walmart. And she actually has a YouTube video about it. So if I can find it, I'll link it below. But when they switched servers, she never got a notification that they were switching servers. She never got anything. They switched servers. She logged into her account because she wanted to make some large prints, like for her living room, of some older photos. They were gone. All of those photos were gone, and all Walmart said was, yeah, sorry, a lot of our photos didn't make it in the transfer of the 2 clouds, and you just happen to be one of them.
Yeah.
So all those family pictures she had saved, they're gone.
So, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but obviously nothing is perfect. So what we recommend is, if you have the ability, if you have these old family photos like Lynn has, keep the prints. There's no reason to get rid of them. However, if you want to combine them and store them somehow, there's great options. Lynn's going to talk about some of the way we store prints. I say don't get rid of them, because honestly,
You just never know.
You never know.
Technology changes every day, and
Yep.
one bit of technology that'll work in your computer today, 5 years from now, may not work. People who had family movies on Super 8 and then VHS and all of those, you can pay someone to transfer those now to a DVD, but then eventually that DVD isn't going to be able to be used, and then you're going to be paying somebody again to transfer those same things to something else.
Yeah.
So
But-
it's just tough.
On Amazon. So they're in 2 different places. Everything is backed up to both places. Plus, we have lots of hard drives, and all of those hard drives are also backed up. But Lynn is a really tactile person, and she likes to have her pictures in actual print form. So what she does is...
Well, with cell phone photos that you have, for certain special occasions, this is a 5x5 photo album. These are just our favorite pictures from our wedding. So it's just a little album, 5x5. We just took some of our favorite photos from our wedding. It says it on the edge here. It says wedding, 11/5/11. That was our wedding date. I have a bunch of these. So I'll link the company below. This is not sponsored, but I do have a bunch of these, and these are great. You can just do them right from your cell phone. And that's what I did. I just did this right from my cell phone. We've got one of our home renovation, the before and afters of our home in this size. It's real easy to it's a little coffee table book. We just leave them out. They're hardcover, they're nice, and the color's great. So this is good. If you just want to save some cell phone photos of an occasion, you can do this if you don't mind having photo albums. But one thing I will say is that's one of the things I do. I also still have, if you guys remember what these are, I still have negatives. I have years worth of negatives marked. I know what they are. I can still get these developed. So if I lose one of these photos, I can go through the negatives and I can get it reprinted, which is, I love that. So I've never thrown away negative in my life. As a photographer, never thrown away negative in my life. The other thing I do is I have boxes. This is one of the boxes. Sorry, this is gonna make a little noise. Inside these boxes are smaller boxes that 4x6s fit into, and each one is labeled. This one is Easter, this is artwork, pictures of the cat, Halloween pictures, and they all fit in these boxes. They don't take up a lot of space. They're organized. I know what they are. I didn't have to write on the back of the photos. I have probably 30 of these boxes, and you can get them at Michael's and like Joann Fabrics and things like that. They're not that expensive. So I have a bunch of these. This helps moisture proof my photos when they're in the house. It also helps keep them dry. So I keep them on a top shelf. Always keep your photos, especially if you're in one of those areas where you can flood, like your house can flood. If you have a 2-story house, always keep your photos, scrapbooks, things like that on the second floor. In a closet, preferably on the top shelf, because that way they won't get flooded. One of the things you should never do not ever, when you frame photos in your house, a lot of people do. I have photos framed in our house. Never ever put this is an embarrassing photo, but never ever put your photo directly against the glass. My mom framed this picture of me from 1976 behind glass. I have never been able to get this off the glass. It's stuck to the glass without ruining the picture. So now this sits in a box like this because it's the only copy of this photo of me. So it sits with the glass because you can't get it off. So what you should always do if you're going to frame your photos is use a mat. That way your actual photo doesn't touch the glass and there's no chance of it sticking. So always mat your photos so that they're not directly against the glass. That's just a tip. If you have too many photos that you don't want to go through and you don't want to organize them like I did, get a bigger scrapbook box like this and just dump all your photos in here. You know, these are all from my mom. These are older photos. I haven't gone through these yet and put them into the smaller boxes, so they're all in here. They're safe, they're water safe, they're moisture safe, and they sit like that. There's all kinds of ways that you can save your photos and not get rid of them. This is $1 photo album. These pictures will slide right out. If you do photo albums, do not do the magnetic ones where the plastic goes over your album, and be careful of the ones where you slide the pictures in like this. Make sure it's a loose enough and thin enough plastic that it won't stick to your photos. Because if you don't use the right one, your photo will stick to this plastic and you'll have the same problem you have with the glass. It'll get stuck and you'll ruin your photo trying to pull it out. So there's lots of options for not getting rid of your physical photos. It's up to you. You guys can, everybody can do what they want to do with it. But I will never get rid of my actual photos in place of the technical, world.
Don't take our word for it. Do your own research, but really, don't throw away your photos if you don't have to. If you really, really want to, and you've got photos that might include some bad memories, toss those, shred those, happily burn them.
Or cut the person you don't like out. That's what my aunts always told me when I was growing up, and they've actually sent me photos from when my dad was a kid or a young adult, and my aunt sent me a photo of my dad, and it's a little 1-inch strip picture of my dad, and she noted in the letter with it that she cut out his ex-wife because nobody needed to see her. So you can do that too.
So that's always an option.
And then with your cell phone photos, I have an iPhone. Jonathan does not. He has
Android.
We have tons of photos on our phones. So we back these pictures up because if this phone fails, my pictures are gone. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get them back. And I take a lot of photos on here that I want to keep. So if I don't print them and put them into one of these albums from my phone, or literally print them, I make sure they're backed up.
Yeah.
In more than one spot. Not just one cloud, but more than one spot.
And that's why I said, on my phone, I have my phone linked with Dropbox and Amazon Photos. And then for some reason, somehow just recently, Google Photos started backing up my pictures too, which is kind of weird because, Google runs everything. Google runs this video right now.
No, Disney runs everything. Somehow it's going to link back to Disney.
Probably. Actually, she's probably not wrong.
Disney's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you guys have any questions about archiving your photos, what you can do to keep your photos safe. Obviously, we're not going to travel with all of these photos. We do have a storage unit, which you guys know. Mm-hmm. These photo boxes will end up in storage. off the floor on a shelf so that if storage ever floods, they will not get wet or get ruined. My kids, I've also done scrapbooking. So I've scrapbooked my kids' lives from the time they were born all the way through college, and they love their scrapbooks. They even now, Ashlyn will come over, since she doesn't live here, she'll come over and grab her scrapbooks and go through them and take photos and share them on Instagram randomly. So they love their scrapbooks. And I also have those in plastic boxes to keep them safe too. They'll all go in storage when we hit the road. We may take some of these kind of albums with us. They're 5x5s. They don't weigh anything. It's, you know, they're cute. It's fun to have those memories, but the rest of the photos will be safe in storage. It is climate controlled, our storage unit. So I'm not worried about, you know, heat damage or moisture or any of that. You know, like we said, if you have any questions.
Actually, if you have a better archival scheme for your digital pictures and videos, shoot us a comment. You can send us either a comment on right here on YouTube, or look us up at Create and Capture Life on Instagram and send us a message. I would love to know what you guys are doing. I know a lot of people are using Amazon Web Server. There's a lot of other services out there. So if you have some ideas, if you have your own ideas, let us know, and maybe we'll do a follow-up to this video and mention some of the people that that sent us some other ideas.
Yep, exactly. And then also, if you are a full-time RVer and you do have photos in your RV, make sure you have backup photos of those photos, because if something happens, God forbid, to your RV, just like if something happens to your house, you know, your regular house, you're going to lose those photos. So I know a lot of RVers, full-time RVers, have pictures framed in their RV of their families, and because it helps keep their family close. So they have those pictures in their RVs. Have a physical copy of those photos, an extra copy somewhere else. So whoever's maybe keeping things for you, if you have a storage unit, whatever it is, keep an extra set just in case, because you never know what's going to happen. And it's always good to have an extra set somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for today's video on, you know, keeping your photos safe and your memories safe and that kind of thing. If you guys have any comments, questions, let us know below. We appreciate all of your comments. I try to answer them all as often and quickly as I can. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Follow us on Instagram at Create and Capture Life. And
I think that's it.
I think that's it.